Pillowfort season is quickly approaching as voice actors prepare for the busy travel time, Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday season coming up, New Year's. And my guest today is someone whom I think spends as much time in his Pillowforts as he does in his regular home studio. Welcome back to the show, Jay Preston.
Hey, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
We originally recorded a podcast in November of 2021 where we talked about travel and recording from the road. So it's been a few years.
It
Has
has.
Pillowfort technology improved since then?
Yes, it has. It's funny because when we did it way back then, that was like me just getting started in it. I've been traveling and doing VO then for like just a year, and now it's been all the years since. Technology has gotten better. Microphones have gotten better. I've needed to build a better spot because I have gotten better and more work, and my wife and I do it together. So it's like we need a studio bet more than the average Joe.
Yep. I think one of the things that I have found that has made it actually a little bit more challenging is hotels have gotten cheaper. And you used to be able to go into a hotel room and open up the closet, and there was all kinds of extra blankets and extra pillows and right, everything you needed to build a pillow fort. And now, more and more, it seems like you walk into those hotels and you open up the closet, and there's no more extra blankets and there's no more extra pillows. And
It's
now
so
it's a whole
true.
thing to try to get them. And it's like, don't you understand? I'm a traveling voice actor. Like, you
Yeah.
can't take this stuff out of the room. Like,
How do these hotels not know?
especially like if you're at the Hilton for VO Atlanta, right? Like, come on, we need thousands of extra pillows and blankets. There's a lot of voice actors coming to town.
Absolutely.
So I want to know a little bit more before we get started. I joked with Barry Tavares. I don't know if you're familiar with Barry or not, but I joked with her once before that should rebrand herself as the Nomad VO, because at the time, I don't think that she actually lived in one place for any more than a month, and so she was constantly on the road and traveling with a tri booth. Actually, she was using at the time, but I know you travel a ton. How much of your year is actually spent on the road and how much of it is actually spent at home in your studio?
Well, last year is the greatest example. Last year, my wife and I did 4 months on the road, 22
Wow.
states. Um, and that doesn't count to traveling to Boston because in Iowa, where her family is from, and in Boston, where my mom is, we've also the things we bring with us on the road in our car, we've actually just bought twice and shipped them to those locations so that
Okay.
when we fly to home, I have the stuff to set up. So not counting those months, probably over half the year last year was spent
Spent.
traveling and doing voiceover in makeshift studio. Um,
So you have to get good at this when
yeah,
you're spending
yeah,
that
and
much time on the road.
we in the beginning of the trip, we were really excited. We wanted to try Starlink out. We were like, "Oh, this would be perfect. We'll get the Starlink internet."
Yep.
And it didn't. It was not perfect. Is not at that level yet. Our phone's hotspot is still better than Starlink because
Interesting.
if you've used Starlink, you know that it actually, which I didn't know, but it sounds like a dial like a dial-up modem from like back in the day. It has like sound. It's like so you can't really
Oh,
have that near you. It also
okay.
doesn't you also have to have it outside and hardwired in. So it comes with this like 15 feet of cable that you have to like run from one spot, and then it needs clear view of the sky,
Yep.
which my hotspot does not. So
Yep.
like finding that in an Airbnb or a hotel, so it did not work for us. But luckily, like Source Connect's getting better and better. So it's like the new Source Connect 4 is working great, and you don't need to have a eye lock or anything like that. And it's got all this audio buffering going on. So like we were able to connect in every state every week we were doing voiceover for like either repeat clients or new bookings and stuff like that, and we had zero problems. Not once did
That's
we have
good
to
to know.
like, yeah, even somewhere in Washington, redwood forest, we had horrible allergies, and the internet was like 1 bar, and I was like, oh, I don't know how we're going to do a Source Connect session, and it worked, and I was like, we were over the moon. We're like, okay, if we can do it there near a yurt, then I think we're all fine.
So you mentioned Source Connect 4. So you've upgraded
Yeah, yeah.
and no
Up,
issues for you as far as did you find 4 actually work better for what you were doing then?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I upgraded and also took the class that they offer so you can get certified. So I think that's also important to like know what the technology is doing and how
Right.
to bridge stuff and talk to engineers who haven't upgraded yet. So we've had to bridge a couple of times with people who are still on 3.9.
Okay.
But as long as you know how to talk them through it and get the bridge working, the bridge works great, which is their solution to 3.9 to 4 since they don't talk to each other. But once you get good at what all of it does and where to set your buffers and stuff like that, yeah, it's been working great.
Tell me about the kind of work that you're recording from the road. Is there anything that you don't do on the road?
No, I mean, it wasn't lucky, but the video game strike was happening during that travel last year, so we didn't do much video games on the road at all. But we
Yep.
have done games on the road. That is the hardest thing to do on the road because there's a lot of yelling, um, especially if you're in a hotel, and especially if it's like a 3-4 hour gig. Like that, so the video games we try not to do on the road. We'll try to find a studio that's nearby if we get booked on those. But all commercials, all e-learning projects, all repeat client stuff is all handled. I was the voice of Presbyterian Health, still am, but that was the year that we're getting going. So it was like every third week was another session, and they all had to like match the campaign, and it did. So we also, it also helps to have amazing engineers on the other side who are like audio wizards, because we are pretty close to our booth. We've matched like our home booth and what we bring with us, which is like a 60-pound booth that takes an hour to set up. Um, it sounds pretty close, and as long as you kind of know what to do with sound and how sound works and goes out and comes back and bounces off things, like I think that's really important for people to like figure out. Like in the beginning, I think in 2021, I was saying I'd go into hotels and snap my fingers in every
Yep.
corner just to hear the echo back. Still do that, but now it's like I can hone in pretty easy now.
Nice. Well, I think going back to what you mentioned earlier there, the most interesting part for me is that there's nothing that you're not willing to record or nothing that you are, no genre is off limits other than, like you said, with video games, but that it's not even so much about the capability of recording on the road as much as it is just the nature of the session. And yeah, not wanting to scream for 3 hours in a hotel that might
Yeah,
result in some phone calls to the front desk or, police
yeah,
knocking on
yeah.
your door wondering if somebody's being murdered or
Meg
whatnot.
had to
But
do dying zombie once in a hotel, and it was like she was screaming bloody. I was like, people are gonna think I'm killing it, like literally. People in the room were screaming, "Shut up!"
that's a courtesy call down to the front desk just to let them know that death is not actually happening up here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
other than that, and I mean, so then in that instance, it's nice where you have the option if you need to try to find a local studio or something like that. But by and large, everything you're doing portable on the
yeah,
road in your hotel, in your Airbnb or whatever, working off your hotspots. That's good. I mean, I think the Starlink technology is probably something that will improve over time. But if the phone works, right, why carry extra gear if you don't have to carry extra gear?
yeah. And I just heard T-Mobile was linking up with them, so that's who I have on my. And the hotspot works great. And then they're gonna be bringing in satellite to the phone, which is exactly what I wanted in the first place. So it's like I think tech
Yep.
as it advances, you'll have satellite even when you don't have
Yep.
phone, and so it'll
Yep.
be great.
So tell me about your booth setup then. You mentioned you've got a 60 pounds worth of stuff that you're hauling around with you. So not quite just a little tri booth or something.
So I'll just explain it. So they have these big, like heavy duty, like square metal things that you can buy on Amazon, and they're for like putting up a projector screen or like
Okay.
putting
Yep.
up heavy cloth that you can
Yep.
like clamp on. And
Okay.
there's like, so I buy two of those. Those are like
Okay.
60 to 80 bucks each for the heavy duty ones. They're like heavy bases. So I have two bases, and think of those as your wall from left to right if you're like in a long booth. And the good thing
Okay.
about those is like they can be from like 4 feet, or they can go all the way to like 6 feet in length,
Okay.
and so it's very malleable that way.
That's
My
nice. Yeah.
booth at home is a converted closet, so it's a 7 foot by, or like 8 feet by 7 feet. It's like a rectangle,
Okay.
and so like I want to make sure that I sound the same, right? So
Yep.
I kind of have the same kind of feel.
Yep.
Um, then the front of it is this like T-pole, like a little T-pole that you would just hang like a poster on. Um, and then I clamp on moving blankets to the sides. But really important part is this audio mute blanket. It's this company called Audio Mute, and they make this incredible blanket that has it's very, very thick, but one side of it allows your voice to pass through, and the other side is a different material that blocks it from coming back in. So um, if I was at a hotel or a place Airbnb and I set it up in one spot and there was a wall in front of me, I would like thumbtack towels and things like that to the wall to soften my
Yep.
voice there. But the important part for my booth to make it work really good is this audio mute blanket. It's like we have to bring it with us everywhere we go, or I buy
Okay.
them and ship them places. Um, because it's such a nice thick base. It's like a moving blanket, but it's really, really thick and made for doing this exact thing, letting your
Okay.
voice pass through nice and comfortably. And then if it does bounce off anything, it gets blocked from bouncing, going back into that side. So it's
Okay.
pretty big and covers like the front of me and a little bit on each side.
Okay.
And then I just have moving blankets on the back. And then we have these like comforters that we have found in our travels, in our, you know, vintage shopping travels, or just like nice, big, thick comforters that are just great for the door in the back.
Yep.
Um, and so all of that fits into this like 6 pound duffel bag, which is like 80 pounds or 60 to 70 pounds, like when carrying it, but it's got a roller. Um, and then everything else is oh, the roof is important. The roof is like, you know, those little round, like they're round, but then they pop open to be backdrops for like green screen or
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah.
self
Yeah.
tapes.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
So we get a big one of those because it's nice and round, and you can bring it with you and fits in this duffel bag. And then it pops open, and we put that on the roof because it just works perfect for the roof. And then you cover the roof with the blankets from the hotel and as many other blankets as you possibly can find. And then depending on how great that room is on its own, some rooms have paintings in them, and some rooms are pretty great. When you click, there's not that much
Yep.
echo. But then the rooms that have a lot of echo, it's like, could we get a couple extra comforters? It is freezing in our room. And then you just drape it over. We've had some pretty big drapes. But the good thing about these big heavy duty whatever you call them, they're meant for a lot of weight. So like even though I can put them up and down with just my hands and a one tool, I can really stack and layer on these things and it won't collapse on me, which is like the worst thing that has happened one time.
I feel like the first time that we did this, that you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like at that point you had kind of a PVC structure that you were working
Yeah,
with.
I was PVCing and then I went
Yeah.
to metal
Metal now. Okay.
because the
So
PVC was too flimsy,
too
and
flimsy.
like and the more things you put on it, the more things it would try to collapse on you.
Try to collapse. Okay. So when you're traveling, you're taking this frame structure with you. You're taking your audio mute blanket with you, but you're relying on extra blankets and stuff like that from locations wherever you are to be able to cover it up the rest of the way, or do you travel with some sound blankets? I forget what you said there.
Yeah, we travel with like two comforters
Okay.
and two sets of pretty thick, like medium thick moving blankets.
Okay.
And then we have the audio mute thing, which is really thick and huge. Um, but that's what we travel with, and we have to make everything in order to be able to travel and not just have your whole, you know, car or whatever filled
Yeah.
with blankets.
Because
You have to
you
just
might
make
want to take
make
some
do
clothes
with.
or something with you,
Yeah,
right?
you
Like,
might want to take some other things. So yeah, and then the rest is all just make do. And if you ever need more things, I mean, the great thing about the hotels and stuff is like they just always have more blankets.
yeah.
So
Yep.
there's and down blankets are fantastic for this kind of thing because it lets your voice pass through and it softens it, you know.
Do you take this setup with you everywhere, or are there times when you're going away overnight, or you're going away for a weekend, or you're going to count on whatever it is, using the ironing board and the luggage rack and
Yeah.
makeshifting something in the hotel, or does this go with you everywhere?
That goes with us when we are pretty confident we're going to have a scheduled session.
Okay.
But we also love to travel and not have to do work, but we always do our auditions. Like we really try not to miss any because you never know when the one meant for you is coming.
Yep.
And with that, the newest, greatest, wonderful piece of technology is this Shure MCV Plus or MV7 Plus. Um, have you tried that? Is that what you're using?
I I've got the SM7B, but I've heard about the new version.
Oh, it's amazing. So 7V Plus, it has an onboard electronic pop whatever, so I
Yep.
don't ever pop, and then it has auto gain control. So, like, if I wanted to yell, I could just start yelling really loud, I could talk like this, and then it'll fix itself. So I'm always like, "I'm about to yell!" And then I'll get into, like, whatever yelling thing is, and it fixes itself, or if I'm gonna be quiet, I'm like, a sentence of quiet first, it fixes itself. So
Nice.
that's amazing. And then it also has an onboard noise canceller that does it real time. So, like, right now, there's, like, 2 fans going, which I don't think you can hear.
No, I nope, can't hear anything.
Yeah, so it's got this amazing, like, when we found this, it was thanks to, Jason Lanier White. He was like, "You need to try this." So we went and bought one and tried it, and, it was right before our road trip, and it was amazing. Meg recorded auditions while I was driving on the highway and has booked with highway
So
auditions.
is it USB or is it XLR? Does it go through an interface or straight in?
It has both, but
Okay.
if you want all the technology to work, it's USB. So, like, when
Okay.
you plug it into the computer USB style, it does all the stuff. If you just XLR it, you'll need the preamp and all that
Okay.
extra fun thing. So it can be both, but I mean, for just taking it up for like 2 nights away or just taking it in the backpack, um, and going somewhere for the day and knowing that I can just pop into the car and do auditions. Like, it was a political season as at the end of our trip, and we pulled over we were heading towards wine country, so we pulled over to a winery. I had to do a political. I just pulled over, turned the car off, did it, and I was like, crossed my fingers, and they're like, "It was great. Everything was great. We're using it." Um, so
Do you ever
it's
tell
been
them?
it's
Or
no.
is that part of the game? Like, after
No,
you've booked it and sent it, you're like, "By the way, I recorded that one in the back
yeah.
seat of the car on the side of the interstate," and
Yeah. Some of our longtime clients know for a fact that some stuff comes from, this, which I mean, and it works, like, it's still ready
if
to
they
go on
can't tell, right?
broadcast.
That's the
If
thing,
they
right?
can't
If they
tell and it
can't tell.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the biggest challenge in instances like that then, I'm assuming, would be, like you mentioned, you do e-learning. So you record some e-learning at home, but then you're on the road and you gotta do some pickups or they've made an update to the script or something like that.
Yeah.
It's then matching.
We do our best. So, like, and I'll be completely honest, sometimes it doesn't match. So depending on, like, what time of day you did this e-learning, if, like, it
Sure.
was like a morning e-learn from home,
Yep.
my voice just has more rasp. So if I'm trying
Yep.
to match that midday, I'm just going to give them a full new recording and not charge them because it's, my bad. And, so, like, I'll,
Yep.
like, okay, you just wanted to pick up of this one paragraph, but here's all 4 minutes, just because I don't think it'll match. Here's a
Yep.
pickup in case it does. So I'll give them that, a couple versions of just the pickup. And just in case it doesn't match, I have a backup of the whole thing recorded.
Let's talk a little bit more about equipment other than the Shure, and we'll
Yeah.
put some of the stuff in the show notes too. We'll make a list so that everybody can see what else you travel with. What is in your kit?
Yeah. We always have a 416. Um,
They're
so
so
we have a
forgiving.
416. Yeah. They're
So
amazing.
forgiving.
And that's what's so great about it. It's like days when you need to, like, where the sound's coming from and you need to, like, make sure the mic is not pointed in that direction at all. It really helps. So it's like if I know there's a chance that it could be ice machine sound or something, or
Yep. Yep.
maid's area sound, or if I'm near a window and that's the best place I can set the booth up, but it is near a window, I'll set it up so, like, where I'm facing the window and the
Yep.
microphone is not. So the 416, and then I really, really love the DPA 4060. It's omnidirectional, little tiny mic they use on stage on theater. They use it on Broadway, and Mark S. Dale first got us into that a couple of years ago because he was starting to use it for video games, and now Insomniac uses it for their video games. They use two, one's on high level and one's lower, but it's amazing for travel because it's a tiny little microphone, but you need to buy the little clamps that you can clamp it onto a hat or something, not like a brim hat, but like a skull cap, and then you put it right on your forehead, pointed down, and so your whole forehead acts as a barrier for a
Wow.
lot of sound. And then you can move around. Literally, it's great for animation, video game auditions, and stuff like that. Is because you can like literally get into character, and it's just sitting there, and you get perfect sound no matter
So
where
you're
you can
never
like.
worrying about moving off mic while you're
Yeah,
getting into
you
the
never have to worry about
physicality of the
that.
character.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
really
that's
great.
interesting.
And yeah, and it's great for this booth setup too on the road because it's like you're using your forehead is part of the setup. You know what I mean? And it's pointed down, and you're getting the best sound and resonance and stuff like that. Just it's coming right out, and you're always on mic. You're always on point, and it's very useful when you get a smaller space and you can't fit your booth where you can, and have enough. As long as you have enough room for your voice to go,
Yeah.
and and you're not cramped and you don't sound like you're in a hole. As long as you can be in a small space, but your voice needs to be able to get out of the booth in order for you to have good sound. But that's great. So that we bring the 4060, and it's so compact. It's like I can put it in my hand. But you'll need the XLR adapter. You'll need the little adapters to like position the mic where you want to position it, the skull cap, obviously. And the other great, amazing thing that's part of it all is the C suite. We use Apollos when we travel for our preamps,
Okay.
but C suite, CVox. I'm sure you know that.
I am not familiar with that. I'm not an Apollo user, so
Oh,
oh,
well, this might
ooh,
change your life. So
how
if
dare
you
you?
try out Apollo a little bit, there is a plugin called C Suite CVox. Um, and it is a live, in real time, I used to call it in real time noise suppressor or
Okay.
canceller or something.
Yep.
And you can just dial it up, dial it down, almost zero artifacts. Um, we worked with it all over the country, and no engineer, even the higher end engineers who are just like audio guru engineers, didn't even notice. They're always like, now, if you have a noise gate or anything like that, everyone says that. But you have this on, and it's just literally taking out anything that's doing the hum. It's like realizing what is doing a hum noise or this like air conditioner hum or anything like that. It takes it out and then leaves your voice alone, and it's pretty fantastic.
We're almost spoiled now. If you think about, recording on the
Yeah,
road a few years ago, right? Even go back 2021, right? You walk into a hotel room, you got to turn the furnace off or the air conditioner off. You got to unplug the refrigerator. You got to like, if you're a window by the highway or you're at an airport by the airport or a hotel by the airport or like
yeah.
there's so many things, right? I have this really hilarious picture of my wife. We were at a hotel in West Virginia, and it had like the largest entertainment unit slash dresser system that you've ever seen in your life. That was just not, I could not move it, but we had to get behind it to unplug the refrigerator because the refrigerator was so loud. And I have this picture of her wedged down in there because thankfully she was half the size of me and she could fit. And I got this picture of her. She was like stuck in there. But I'm like, this is the stuff that you have to do in order to be able to record from the road. Except apparently now you don't have to do that stuff when you're recording from the road anymore if you just have the right plug in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we still turn the fridge off and make sure it's as quiet as we possibly can humanly make it, and then the plug-in takes care of all the little things you can't. I mean, there are some hotels that have like that. It's like a perfect room, but it has right outside the window, 2 stories down, is that generator that comes on.
Yeah.
There's like big generator,
Yep.
and that used to be a problem. Those things are no problem anymore now to these plugins and technology, and it's kind of amazing.
These are the upsides of AI that nobody wants to talk about, right? We're
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah.
too busy cursing out all the bad stuff of it, but some of this other amazing technology that actually makes it possible for us to do things like recording anywhere we want. I mean,
Yeah.
that's AI technology at work as well.
Yeah, I
So you
mean, there's
got
so much good about it that,
yep,
as long as you ain't taking my damn voice,
that's
I'm
right.
happy to use it and make my life easier and travel
Yeah.
more.
So what else have you got? Couple of microphones you're using the Apollo interface.
Yeah, I use the Apollo Solo. We also have a twin that we can bring with us. So if it's like client matching jobs, like we have a twin at home, so like I'll bring the twin, but the Solo is it plugs right in so easily
Yep.
and doesn't need other power. So like with the Solo or with just this microphone and the Solo alone, just plugging into the computer is with a good charge. I could get a whole session done without plugging anything into anywhere, so which is kind of amazing and have done
Yep.
before. A great XLR mic is important. A lot of people really skimp on that. Even this day and age still, they're just getting the cheap XLR mic and then wondering why there's like a electronic hum. Like, I've done everything and there's like electronic hum, and I'm like, great. Tell me your setup, and it'll be like an amazing microphone, an amazing preamp, and like some like Amazon XLR. So we use the Megami XLR as a and have a backup version of that, and pop filter, and then there's these little clamps, like these little C clamp things that I just buy a bunch of them because you never know when you're going to need to like set the. I actually forgot the pop filter the last time me and Meg went away. Not the pop, the shock mount for the 416, and we really needed to use the 416. And so I had like all these extra little C clamp,
So you're MacGyvering something in the room.
MacGyvered a 416 shock mount
Nice.
basically, and it worked great.
What are you using in your booth? Do you read off of iPad, or do you put the computer in the booth with you when you're doing it?
Yeah, we have the MacBook Air with so it doesn't make any sound.
Yeah, they're
So
pretty
we
quiet.
pretty much use that. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we have that. We also have like a stand to make it higher and lower.
Okay.
And we have a take with you table that breaks down into that duffel bag as well. So it's like just a heavy duty
That
like
is quite the duffel
table that
bag.
yeah, no, it's insane. Like I'll send you a photo of it you can put in there
It's
of
like
just like
watching how many people get out of a clown car. It's like, how much more stuff have you got in there, Jay?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well,
It is
we got a
full.
table.
Yeah. And you definitely need those little clamps, like C clamps that go over thick pipe.
Yep.
So you get like a whole bunch of little clamps that go over pipe just to hang all of your, and they got to be heavy duty ones so they can hang all these blankets and things.
You mentioned that you've got family in Iowa, family in Massachusetts, and so you've actually left stuff there. So what have you
Yeah.
got, like a triplicate then? You've got the one that you travel with and then one in each one of those locations? Is that kind of
Yes.
how you've worked it?
Yeah. And we just bought everything 3 times, so we have it all that we have with us, and then we bought it again for Iowa, and we bought it again for Boston. We just leave it there. It's just way easier than remembering to bring everything with
Yeah.
you every time you go to visit family, and like you're trying to like just visit family, but if you got a big gig coming up, it's like, and you can't, I mean, especially Massachusetts doesn't have very many good studios nearby because everything isn't really nearby. Everything's like an hour 2 hours away. So
Yep.
Boston has some amazing studios that I've been to, but it's like I don't want to trek an hour and a half into Boston for like a 20-minute session,
Yep.
so we'll just set it up. And the biggest problem with Massachusetts is the neighbors. So it's like everyone does their yard like every day. So like everyone's, I don't know why, but everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna mow the lawn again. We just mowed it yesterday." So they're always so that's the biggest problem. And it's like the struggle is like, if you get a gig, is it gonna be quiet in the morning? Am I gonna have to run out and talk to a
Yep.
neighbor and make, it's like, so those are the issues. Meg's mom's house is like pretty good. We've recorded a lot of things in that. And it's always magical a little bit because it's like it doesn't seem like it's going to be quiet every day up until the day, and then it's always like knock on wood, like we get through it. And her mom's downstairs with like 3 different dogs, like trying to keep them quiet. Yeah, things you got to deal with.
Yeah, one of the smartest things that I ever did was I got a tri booth, and my wife's family lives about 8 hours away, and I left it at my mother-in-law's place because we were at that point in time, we'd be up there 5 or 6 weeks out of the year at different stages, and it was easier to just have it, fits in a suitcase, just pack it up and then just leave it in her basement kind of thing, and it was really nice. And that is one of those things, if you've got certain places where you go to consistently, parents' house, in-laws' house, whatever, it is nice to
Yeah.
just come up with a setup. What I like about what you've got though is, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it doesn't sound like it's crazy expensive.
No, and that's the thing. Like, the Tribe booth is amazing, and some of those setups that they have out there are pretty great setups. Like,
Vocal booth to
but
go and
yeah, but I looked at them, and that was like, it was like, do I put a bunch of money and get one of these things, or I mean, I can buy 3 of them for half the price.
yep,
3 of my setups, and the
yep,
the important part that you spend the money on is obviously your equipment, and then the audio mute blanket is like the most important pieces of it, and everything else can be like put together easy. And it's like so compact that I know how to put it together up and down. I can get up and down in like 40 minutes by myself. So it's like
You mentioned you have these metal frames that you've got that go down the sides. Is there a back on your booth then? Or do you put it up against the wall and you've got the blankets in front of you and then you've got the walls down the side? Is
So
there
I
do
have
you have
these
it?
the two walls, and then I have
Okay.
like another metal thing that folds down into nothing, but
Yep.
it's like a T thing. So it's
Yep.
just the pole and the T part, and that's the front where I
Okay.
put the audio mute blanket, and then the back is open.
The
But
back is
because
open. Okay.
it's a big long rectangle, and they're just by themselves, you can turn it into a triangle. So it's
Yep.
like I can
If you
close
need
the back a
to.
little bit more that way if I need to,
Yep.
or I can leave it open. And I have these like amazing little comforters that I drape over the back. That is our doorway.
Okay.
And you kind of, you make it your own. We had this. We were in some national park, and the hotel had these like cute little black bears that they were in your hotel room, and you could either leave them or buy them. So we had it, and we put it on top of the booth, and it became our booth bear. And it literally was like, well, we have to buy this now because every session that we thought was going to be like hell was like worked perfectly, like the perfect hour. We're like, now the booth bear comes with us always because we just feel like it's good luck. It's like always just sitting
I
on
thought
top of our booth.
superstition was only in sports and
Yeah,
baseball.
and
We just finished watching the
until
World
you're
Series,
like,
but
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's in VO2.
it's in voiceover too.
Yeah, you're like, there's no way. There's like 700 motorcycles outside. There's no way the session's gonna work. And they all went somewhere for like 1 hour, and they all came back after. I was like, it's got to be the bear.
It's got to be the booth bear. Nice. So, I mean, you said what the frames were like $60 or something like that. Buy some moving
Yeah, frames
blankets,
are
and
like
so literally for a
60.
few $100, you got everything that you need
Yeah,
and a little bit of peace of mind.
yeah,
Because so many times now, and I said it earlier, but walking into a hotel today is not the same as walking into a hotel 5 years ago. They don't always have all the same stuff, and sometimes you can't always get them to deliver it either. So it's
no,
nice to just have something that gives you that little bit of peace of mind that you can take with you.
yeah.
What is the coolest piece of kit that you've added lately? Maybe isn't an essential or a necessary, but you're like, "Oh man, I discovered this and it was awesome. I'm so glad that I have this now," or "So glad that I added this into the setup."
I had originally been going with this table that needed to be like screwed in all the time, like a nut and a screw, and like the table was really annoying, and I was like, screw it. I went online and I found a table that is like so easy that it's like my new favorite thing. It's like it's one of the things that you're just like, oh yeah, the table's there. Takes 2 seconds. It's like it does like fold up and piece together, but it's just the easiest piece together table with knobs instead of like little twisty things, and it just folds down, and it's like sturdy. There's something about the table in your booth that makes it just like puts it together perfectly.
So that's what you're, putting your MacBook on?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
put it on the table, and then I have this like the things that hold the MacBook that can go up and down. Those are like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so I have,
the stands, yep, okay.
yeah, little stand. It's perfect. And then
It
finding the roof, my Meg actually was the one who discovered like how the roof could work. We're trying to figure out because the roof's always the hardest part. Or otherwise you have you put stuff
They
up there
start
and it
to
starts to
droop
sink
in,
in,
yep, yep.
and it's like how do you get around that without going to buy pieces of wood all the time, I think 2021 we were actually buying everywhere we went. We'd go and get some Home Depot stuff and have them cut little pieces for us for the roof, and we did that for so long until we realized this little foldable thing, which we brought with us anyway for like on camera self tapes and things like that, or video game self tapes, was perfect for the roof. You just bloop, and it comes up, and it really just holds everything up there and doesn't soup in, droop in.
It's like one of these IKEA hacks, like people walk into IKEA and they find all this furniture and they repurpose it into the most amazing ways that it was never originally intended for, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they thought of that." It would have never occurred to me to use a green screen background as the roof on a booth,
Yeah,
but, I mean,
it's
as soon as
great.
you said it, I was like, "Okay, wait a minute, that makes sense." Actually, I could see how
Yeah,
that would work.
and it kind of fold because it's a round circle, right? It's a bit or oval or whatever, so it folds. It hangs off over the top of the booth, which actually works out better for you
Yep.
because then the blankets that are up there are actually creating the space in between. So, like, as the blankets drape down over the top of the roof, you have your wall that you've made with the blanket, but then there's a space, and then there's more blankets. So, like, as your voice is coming out, it's hitting a space and it's hitting the blanket, and it's getting just more, what's the word? Diffused
Yep.
better. Yeah, so all these little things just made the booth even better. And it's kind of that kind of works, like, since our booth is a converted closet booth and clothes do that, this little thing is doing that too. So it's like helping match it.
So, did you go through getting like, somebody like George Whittam will do a stack for your booth to get you all set up for your microphones and stuff like that. Did you do anything like that, or were you able to just make it match
Yeah,
using your
I
own
have
expertise and knowledge and
yeah,
you've been doing it for a while now as far as traveling on the road, you've probably figured out a few tips and tricks along the way.
yeah, George made me a stack a long time ago, and then my mic and my setup changed, and then I forgot to have him make a new stack. And then Jordan Reynolds, I went through his course and I made myself a stack, but then I upgraded something and I had to have to go back through his course to learn how to make a stack again. And I'm just like, I can't, I'm so not that audio guru kind of guy that I can't, I literally have to go take the whole class again. I just can't find the time. So what I've done is I've just tried to create a way that the microphone and the equipment books me. I mean, doesn't whatever. When I book, it's not because of a stack. It's because of
Yep.
and nothing's wrong with the stacks. Were amazing when I could just press a button and things sounded better. But now I have, like, at home we have the John Hardy M1 into a Lakeside Soyuz preamp into our Soyuz like microphone, so it's just like a very nice clean with nothing in between. And then when we go on the road, we have the 416 of the DPA 4060, and it's a clean straight into the Apollo. And for whatever reason, it's pretty close for like
Nice.
a really high end stack of stuff, or just a flat straight into like one of these microphones. It's close enough where audio engineers don't have to do too much to like get it to match.
So, where's the craziest place that you've had to set this up and try to pull off a session without anybody knowing?
We had pulled over. We were on some. We were on some highway, and there was nothing. There was like, but we found this one spot that had like, I could. My phone had like 3 bars. So we pull over off of this highway, and then we go behind this building, and there's like no one back there. We're like, oh great, there's no one back there, and it's the buildings kind of blocking the highway sound a
Yep.
bit,
Yep.
and it's like 95 degrees. So like as soon as I turn the car off, it's going to be 100 in the booth,
Yes.
and we took that blanket and put it over the car, would make it even hotter, but also it's just like just to drown out some of the noise. And we just put everything together, and we're sitting in the car, and we pulled off a session for like a half hour. It
Doesn't
was
look
like,
suspicious at all to anybody who's driving by wondering what the heck is going on
yeah,
over
we just
there.
we kept stuffing blankets near windows so like it wouldn't reflect off of the stuff like that. Ended up sounding pretty good, and I was like, okay, different. But we were sweating by the end of it. It's like that little like rhino from Ace Ventura. He's like, rhinos are hot.
That would be so nasty. But I mean, I've recorded stuff in the car before. I mean, they're built to be quiet, right? I mean,
Yeah,
George Whittam's been on the podcast. We've talked about that before, that in a pinch, if you can put your car someplace quiet, you can record, you might get away more easily get away with an audition maybe than if you could
yeah,
kind of do an actual session. You might need a little bit of extra stuff. But yeah, I've pulled
yeah.
off the highway and shoved pillows in behind me and sit in the back seat, and 416 certainly helps with that, right? A little bit more
Oh yeah,
forgiving, or I guess that in this case, that Shure microphone would certainly make a
yeah,
difference being able to do that as well.
yeah. We've even had we've had a set like the room you got like the it was one of those two twin bedrooms, and like nothing would move, so he
Yep.
couldn't fit the booth anywhere. We ended up fitting it in between the two beds, so it literally looked like the old school Pillowfort kind of way, and just like the worst setup ever, but that worked too. You just got to be, malleable with your setup.
It doesn't have to be pretty, right? It just has to work. It just
Just has to work. You get so excited after you build it, and you like, take a photo, and you're like, I'm not showing that to anyone. That's the worst looking room.
the thing that I've always laughed about with this stuff is we so often we will spend so much money on our home studios. And I mean, I like right over here over my shoulder is my custom booth. I built it myself, but custom built booth and tried to make it nice, tried to make it spacious. But you'll hear guys talking about, double walled, detached from the foundation, like on and on and on and on, and spending 20, $30,000 on their booth. But when we're on the road, we all record in Pillowforts and
Yep.
book jobs, and makes you wonder why we spend so much money and work so hard sometimes on some of the booth setups that we have at home if all of this other stuff actually works just as well.
Well, it's because you spend most of your life in it. You know what I
Yep,
mean? Like, I want it to look nice. Like, my booth has a bunch of like stuff in there that makes us happy when we go in. You know, it's
yep,
just like it looks like a nice place to be. Even when we're on the
yep,
road for that long, we can't wait to get back to home just to have like
sure.
our the booth there and the computers outside of it, and oh, it's so nice. Um, but yeah, you spend so much time, you want it to look nice. So like, I would hate live if I had to do all of my life inside of a made up thing. It would end up taking twice as long and
Yep,
cost more because I'd want it to look even better if I had to do it all year long.
yep. Yeah, for a week or 2 at a time, it works in a pinch, but it is nice to come back home to the main studio again.
Yeah.
Talk about on the I'm just curious on the business side of this, because you travel so much, are you booking out with your agents every time you go? Are you letting clients know that you're on the road? Or you just feel so confident with your setup now that you're like, "Ah, it's just business as usual for me."
No, I explain. We do a big explanation of where we're going and when it'll be impossible to record, and when so like some road days are just like 8 hour road.
Yep,
So there's no way to travel. So there's like some actual book out times. We try to make them fit around weekends or like stuff like that. But for the most part, especially after last year, all of our agents know that we can make it work. So like they're not as worried. All of our auditions still sound good, even if we're on the road, even if I'm on the highway and Meg's recording while we're driving. So they still end up sounding good and bookable. So that's good. And um, so we're pretty transparent. But the other great thing is like, I run the Voice of a Resource guide now, and that thing has become so much more handy. Not just because I run it, but because like on the road, I can find studios nearby, and like just making those like connections as you're traveling throughout the country, and like,
yep,
"Hey, I'm a voice actor living out of LA, but we're here now." And like whenever we can like throw gigs to studios around the country, we try to do that, and it really helps us because we're recording in a studio, and it also helps them because they get some more money and new contacts. But also like we can make like really good networking friendships out of that, and like we've
well, I was
gotten
gonna
so
say
many
that
like
turns into new clients down the road potentially,
yeah,
right?
and they have like we've got clients from all over the country now because we're just friendly with the studio, and like we had brought them work, and now we're continually giving each other work, and it's cool because you got to see them in person and like see their
Yep,
studio, and so it's been really fun to do that as well. Like everywhere we go, I'm like checking out like what's here, what's oh this studio's here, um so it works out pretty good.
tell us about the resource guide. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's when I first got into voiceover, I was just taking classes all over the country. I mean, the country. I was all over California, and one of the places I was starting my learning was Voicecaster, and I was done with the workshop, and I went down to say, "Hey, thanks so much for something." And I saw all these resource guides on the thing, and I was like, "Oh, how much are these?" And she's like, "Oh, free, take one." So like I grabbed it and like started to just like go through it and be like, "Oh my god, I didn't know all these recording studios were here, all these different." And I was like at that point, like really trying to like learn as much as I could from as many people as I could. So I like all these different coaches that I found in there, but then I would reach out to these recording studios and see if they had any internal rosters or like agencies I didn't even know existed was like were in there, and I was like, oh, let's just see if maybe because I didn't have an agent then. So it was like a place where I found agents,
Yep,
connections for recording studios, new coaches, and then when the opportunity came that they found the VO collective that I had built, they were like, well, we're trying to find someone else to run this thing, and your collective seems in line. And so me and Tim Friedlander were like, yeah, let's take this on and see if we can make it even better than it was before. And I feel like we have. And so now it's got even more resources that are always checked. Like every 6 months, we have a team that looks up all of them, calls all of them, make sure they're still in business, so we can either take them out of the guide, put them in the guide,
yep,
um, and for this whole travel thing, it's been so great because we've added the rest of the country. It used to be just like New York and LA, but now we're literally getting the rest of the country. And so everywhere I go, I'm like finding new studios and adding them to the Vorg, and then that now they exist, and it's we can make connections with them. So it's really cool.
that's fun. And you still running the collective?
Yes, but I have so little time to like even get the Vorg on its feet that I still have to finish like the equipment page, like Amazon screwed up how they do their affiliate stuff. So, like, all of my links that I used to have so I'm, like, slowly getting all of the cool equipment back on there and linked, but the Vork's just taking up so much time, and it's fun to do, so, uh and then there's so many, like, advertisers that it's all created with advertisers, so it's like people in the industry um, put their ads in there for people to find. And a lot of them have like amazing discounts. If you just say something about like, "Oh, I found this in the Vorg," and they're like, "Oh, great, well, you get 10% off or 15% off this." Um, so that's cool to do too. Is like find how many little deals can we find
Yep.
out there and give them to all of the, you know, to everybody.
So before we head off for Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's and all
Oh,
of
the
this,
holidays.
all the holidays. I mean, I think you've already given us a ton of great information for things to think about with setting up the booth, and send me a picture and we'll put that into the show notes, or throw it up on the video for the YouTube version or whatever. But
Yeah.
any other pro tips? Something that I didn't think about that I could have asked or should have asked? You're like, hey, by the way, here's a really great tip, or here's a really great hack when you're recording from the road or setting yourself up to do this.
Oh, one good thing is to make sure you have closed back headsets when you're recording in your booth. The open back is great for editing and stuff like that, but this closed back is if you're ever doing music or like the people are trying to talk to you and you're in this booth and you've got the computer here and you got this here and it's just like you just want to make sure no other sound is getting into your microphone. Um, so bring a good pair of headsets with you on the road too, and then don't just go with whatever's the cheapest. Again,
What are you using?
I got these Sennheiser's HD 2080 Pros.
Yep.
Not too. It's like $100, but
Yep.
as long as it's closed back, comfortable, that you can wear for a long time. Doesn't look good in video, but they
It
only
looks how
make
it's supposed to look. I mean, have you ever seen a
yeah.
picture of a voice actor where they weren't wearing big fancy headphones like that? You're supposed to
Oh
touch them
no,
though. You're always
yeah.
supposed to be sitting there with
It's
your
supposed
hand
to
on
be
them. But
touching them.
yes. Well, Jay, this has been great. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures of what version of the booth is this, by the way? Like, I mean, we did this in
This
2021. That was
is
like version one or
probably
version two or something
version
like that.
four.
But version four.
Yeah, this is probably version four. It's like we had PVC version. We had these Home Depot things that I think I was like, oh, so you get it, you figure out how much, then you call ahead and get them to cut the soundboard, and you can just go pick it up and then throw it away when you're done. Like we don't do that anymore. So yeah, this is version four, and it's working great. We bought in 3 versions of it.
Three versions of version four, parked in
Yeah,
various assorted places across the country. That is the one thing I do think, though, and we said it earlier, but if you've got in-laws or family that you travel to consistently, having something that you can just leave is so nice. And so having something that's affordable that you can do that you can, right? It's not like everybody can go out and buy 3 or 4 tri booths or local booths to
yeah,
go and leave them in strategic locations or whatever. But
yeah,
something like
yeah.
this that you're just kind of rigging up, and you go to mom and dad's house, even if you just had the frame, chances are they've got the blankets and stuff like that there, right? So
Yeah. Or you go to like one of those what are they called? Charity places, and like go get some cheap all of
yep,
them have like $5
yep.
comforters from, so you just go buy some of those and toss them later.
Even in the Airbnbs and stuff like that, right? A lot of them have got some there's
Yeah.
blankets and stuff like
Well,
there. So if you got your basic sound blankets that you need, and then you just use whatever's in on location to kind of fill in the blanks, so to speak.
yeah. And then we're talking holidays, right? So like
Yeah,
if you're going somewhere for the holidays and you go buy a nice comforter from Macy's or something that you can gift after you're done recording in it, you know?
that's
You
right.
gift away, here's a nice comforter, mom. I knew you needed a new one.
Yeah, there you go. And
Didn't
by
I
the
see
way,
that
keep
on
this
top of
around in
the
case. Yeah, keep this around in case we come back again next time.
exactly. Here's some pillows. Oh yeah, we sometimes we'll take pillows and put them. You know how like little sound traps in the bottom of places. So sometimes we'll just take pillows and put them in corners and stuff like that, and just
Yep.
sound traps everywhere.
Nice. Well, this is good. We're all set now. I'm actually, at the time that we're recording this, I'm getting ready to go to Mavo. So I've been thinking about, because I don't have my tri booth with me. I was going to actually drive to my mother-in-law's and get it before I headed for Mavo. And I was like, I ran out of time to go get it. So I'm going to have to set
Yeah,
up
I can.
something at
I'll send
Mavo.
you. I'll go find what the things I buy. I'll send you the links to them, and then you can just try it out, put it
We'll put it in the
together.
show notes, and then everybody will have it. Voiceover resource guide. Is it online?
It is, and it's all digital right now. Our latest edition, 79.5, is digital, and it's free for everybody. So you can just
Okay.
go to the website, click the link, or scan the code, and you'll have it right there on your phone. You can go through all 90-something pages of it.
Okay.
So that's great. We're doing the digital one right now because issue number 80, we're going to make a huge, very big, and um, we're trying to put every single listing from the Vorg website into it. So it'll be like over a couple hundred pages,
Oh,
maybe,
wow. Okay.
or at least 200, and it'll be bound. And we're only making 2,000 of them because it's going to be very expensive. Uh, but then we'll also have a digital companion of it.
Okay.
But that we're excited about that one because we're going to try to put in a lot more resources for the resource guide, not just listings and things like that. We're going to put in some like Nava's working on some stuff, GVAA is working on some stuff, and so it'll be a thing to have that actually has useful information in as more useful information for like the actor,
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. We're excited about that.
Website for that? Or is it
Thevorg.com.
thevorg.com? Okay. We'll
Yeah.
make sure that we put that in the show notes as well.
Thanks so much.
Jay, this has been great. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be back again. Let's not make it. No, I don't want to see you again in 5 more years. Let's make it sooner.
When we come out with version 5 or version 6, by the time we get to version 5 or version 6 of the booth, or when you've got
It'll
a
be like a thing where I'm just like, watch this, boop, and it just puts up
yeah, I was gonna
itself.
say you
It'll be in the
gotta
future.
when you got a Tesla Optimus bot to go ahead and set it up for you so that it's all everything's ready to go.
Yeah, it actually just it lifts from my house, goes to where I'm going to be, and drops it off. Yeah.
Amazon delivers it via drone.
Yep. This stuff could happen.
I know we laugh and it sounds crazy, but we might only be a few years from there. We'll find out. That will make for a very interesting episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect this day and age I'd have a microphone like that's $300 that does everything this one does.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy actually. I'd heard a little bit about that, sure, but I did not realize that it was even that well set up. So that's
It's
interesting.
pretty
Okay.
amazing.
Great,
Yeah.
thanks. Now I got to go and buy one of those. Be watching
Yeah.
for a Black Friday special on
Seriously, yeah, I
Thermometers.
think actually there's a sale there's a version with the stand, which is really nice. I like that because you can take it apart and it fits in my backpack.
I'm sure there will be some Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals on some of that stuff too. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
all right, man. Well, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. Have fun out
Thanks
there
for
on the
having
road,
me. Thanks, you too.
recording in your yurts and whatnot.
Yeah. Happy holidays.